A little bit? Seriously, not that. Huh? Seriously, not that. My English only third grade English, okay? Okay? Okay, huh? Okay. I'm very happy to be here. Harris and Patrick, fantastic, huh? And it's not, but what they offer you is not something that happens overnight, right? It's from years and years and years of experience. But today we definitely want to give you some shortcuts, yeah? So faster, yeah? So let me ask, since Patrick was talking about events, how many of you have gone to a Hong Kong event? Can I see? Yeah, that's why you're still here. Yeah. So those who have not, hopefully you get a chance to go. So because, many years ago, 19 now, when I first got into the industry, it said, you're not in the business until you attend a convention. I didn't understand what that meant. But as a traditional business person, well, over the years I see, McDonald's, they have their convention, right? Insurance company have their convention, right? And they're almost forced to go, right? And then many businesses have their convention. And why is that? Well, I think Patrick said very well already. Because to see what the whole business is about, aside from what we see in front of our face, it's important to attend the event. Yeah? I know you have been to a convention and do testimony to share. So in our business, the purpose that me, Patrick, and Harris are here, and every time that we come, and the leaders come, is to help you to grow your business. That's our purpose. That's our intention. So, and many times, I have to think back when maybe I was sitting in your seat, where I was looking at, and what happened to me over the years, where it opened my eyes, not my physical eye, but my mind's eye. You have the eyesight, but you have the mind sight to see what this business really is, okay? Because many years ago, I was in the furniture business. I would come and then meeting, and then, okay, so how do you make the money? How many of you wonder that? I come to do so many meetings, but how do you make the money, right? And then, when I saw Kim making millions already in a business where I first met her, by the time I realized how big it is, it's like, okay, really, how do you do it? How many of you wonder? How many of you wonder? Can you raise your hand? How do you do it? Exactly, right? How do you go from little step to, wow, so big, right? It's like, when we talk about making that kind of millions of dollars, it's like an astronaut going to the moon. It's so far away. But let me tell you today, maybe within the next 20, 25 minutes, it's actually a lot closer than you know. It's actually at your fingertip, almost like that. There is some magic in people. There's some magic in the human entrepreneur spirit, okay? Because, everything that we have in the world, in our society, where did it come from? Our imagination. Right? Am I right? The simple thing, the clothes that you wear. Somebody drew it out, designed it, cut it out, picked the material, cut it out, and then put it in a store. Where did it come from? How we think. Is how we think very important? Yes, it is the most important. Because imagine if we break it down. Who are we really? What are we really seeing? Did you know that your eye, your physical eye, when you see an image, the image that's in your eye is actually upside down? Did you know that? You pay attention in biology class? But why can our brain can turn it back around? Right? Why? Because it's all how, not physically how we see things, but how we think. That is the reality. So, I know many years ago, in the year 1999, there's a very famous movie called The Matrix. Have you seen The Matrix? Yeah? If not, I would highly recommend. The world is not what we think it is. And I realized that because many years ago when I was young, when I was going through college, just coming out to work, my father used to do commodity futures. So he traded gold, silver, but options, right? Very high dollars like gambling, okay? So he's a broker. He had his own business, and he said, he had many very rich people, like super rich, right? He said, hey, rich people think differently. I said, but what does that mean? I have no idea. As I study, as an entrepreneur looking for success, I realized, it's all how people think. How many of you have heard the story how Bill Gates started his business, Microsoft? How he got his first contract, right? So through connection, he got a meeting with IBM. And he thought IBM was making personal computers, and he was going to say, hey, I can write the operating system for you, right? After the meeting, after they say yes to him, then he went to find somebody to write the operating system. So his hand was empty walking into that meeting. You think about that. What is somebody willing to do? It's all desire and how we think, right? Okay, so for you to go to the moon, the moon is actually a lot closer. You gotta get the rope to pull it down. Okay? This business, it can be very simple. First, how you think. Second, plug into event. And Patrick did a fantastic job. Okay? So events, in a sense, for me, to keep it simple, it's like a fish tank. You want to be in the water if you're a fish. What happens when you're out? You die eventually. So if you don't do the event, your team don't do the event. A lot of people say, oh, what is a leader? Like for me, I was the boss in my furniture business. Coming into here, oh, you have to be a leader. I have no idea what that means. As I watch, you know what? The simplest thing, lead by example. You do, your team will do. And there are people who can, sit here to learn like you are today. That's called passive learning. You might be able to take 10, 20, 30%. But where you learn the most is called active learning, by doing it. Not only by yourself, but with other people. You know what the ultimate learning is? Is when you try to teach it. So thank you for the opportunity. Okay? That's actually where you learn the most, because you have to put the lesson together. You have to think it through, aside from what you have done before, and then teach it. That's actually the ultimate learning. If I was going to share with you anything, that is kind of what leadership is about in this business. Okay? So first, you got to listen, then you got to do, then you got to teach. Does that make sense? Then here's the other thing. Let's say if I tell you, to get to this level, to get to that level, you need to go through so many people, you need to do so many events. How soon you want to get that done? Anybody? Anybody? What? Yesterday, no, yeah. But as soon as possible, am I right? Think about that. Most people fail, or it's very slow because they don't know what to expect. So then that's why you have leaders and other people to share with you their experience, right? So for example, I share with you, well, when I first started in this industry, I can sign up people because I was like the boss for my furniture business before. I was in real estate. I know how to talk. I do it by myself. But most people can do that. But then my people never did anything. They never come to the meeting. I said, hey, what is missing? I did not do what Patrick said to do, to promote the meeting, to get the people there. Okay? But how to get the people there? They will only come if they want something, right? Right? So it's important as we work the business that we have empathy for the other person. We have compassion for the other person. We have an understanding of the other person. Okay? People will only do to get what they want. Does that make sense? If you're thirsty, you'll get up, go get some water, reach out to get the water, right? If you're not thirsty, you just sit there, right? So it's a matter of what people want. The biggest mistake people make is that they never find out what the other person wants. They just tell. So there's a saying. It doesn't matter what we say, it matters everything what the other person says. Okay? So what they say in general for most people is their word, right? Is their commitment, right? Does that make sense? Okay. So you can say whatever you want, but you'll never convince them unless they say they want. Does that make sense? Okay. So when we go out to share with people, a very simple thing is to understand. And maybe a very simple term is heart to heart. As people. You know? And that's actually very powerful. You know, people say, oh, Samson, you gotta come to motivate people. It's like, I've never motivated anybody in my life. Everybody is self-motivated. Right? And unless you see something, your imagination won't turn and then take action. Do you understand what I'm saying? And like I said, your mindset, the way you think is everything. It's everything. So that's why some of you have heard success is an inside game. Have you heard that before? Because it's all how you think. So we always say, if you see this as a small business, you're right. If you see it as a big business, you're right too. It's just what scale, right? So how many of you, just question, okay, there's no right or wrong answer, want to make $1,000 US a month? Nobody. Some. How many of you want to make $5,000 US a month? 10,000? 20,000? 100,000 a month? Okay, there's some people who, no.
1 million.
1 million? Oh yeah, oh, I can't, okay. I asked that, again, there's no right or wrong answer, right? It's not what I say, it's what you say. Okay? So now, let's go down to the nitty-gritty. Okay? So how this business can go from one person at a time to thousands of people is mindset and system, events. It is that simple. It is that simple. But most people cannot get past how they own think, how they are. Because aside from what you think, you know how you think? You can think subconsciously and consciously. There's two. You understand? You know the hardest part? Which is the hardest part to change? Subconscious. Right? Because we are actually 90% of what we do every day is with our subconscious. Does that make sense? Like like driving a car. How many of you drive a car or moped? Right? Or whatever, right? So when you first learn to drive, you're like, oh my gosh, I have to buckle my seatbelt, gotta, adjust on the mirror, right? And then I gotta start thinking, oh, I have to step on the brake to start the engine, right? And then if you have I know how to do a stick, right? Manual transmission, you're like, oh, I have to step on a clutch. Oh, it's so complicated. But after a while, it's automatic, right? It's so automatic, you can talk to the phone and drive at the same time, and without thinking, you're at your destination without knowing really what happened when you were driving, right? That is actually your subconscious. Your subconscious is very powerful. So how you can get ahead, though, is by changing your subconscious. That's the truth. So over the years, there's many people who teach people to do that in an area called self-development. Have you been to a self-development course before? Yes? Okay. So many years ago, I was in the furniture business. If you ask me, Samson, you need to develop yourself to make more money. I'm like, what does that mean? Why do I have to develop myself? What does that mean? Well, all it is, the more you can change into, or more open to changing, the more you can receive so that you can grow not only personally, but how you make decisions, how you see the world, okay? How you see your relationships, how you see your business, how you see your job, how you see the world, okay? We all know that somebody who travels all over the world, they have a different idea what the world is than somebody who never traveled. It's true. So there's no good, right or wrong. Whatever you have done in your life, there you are. There you are. Tony Robbins, one of the most famous, well, he's probably the most famous today in self-development. He said, many years ago I heard, your destiny equals, you know what your destiny equals? Equals to all the decisions you made in your life. That will lead you to your destiny. So through every single decision you made in your life, it led you to here in this room today. Yeah, and hopefully you're in the right direction. Hopefully this is where you want to go. You see 3 as a vehicle to make a change in your life, whatever that is. 500 a month, 1,000 a month. I was talking about US dollar, okay? Not ringgit, no rupiah, no Vietnam dong, okay, Vietnamese stuff. But anyway, so with that, okay. So first, one thing is, this business they call people business. So learn to deal with people. So in a way, I was talking with Alina at breakfast today. You almost have to, in Chinese there's a Tai Chi thing. You know what the Tai Chi is, right? It's like energy, right? Where energy flows, the money goes. That's what Chinese people say. No, where your attention is, that's where the energy goes, okay? So what you want to do is, you want to be like a chameleon. Okay, it takes certain personality. If you want to learn to deal with people more, you do have to let a lot of things go. You have to have something called acceptance. Accept people for who they are, and that's okay. Don't need to force anybody to do anything, right? And the most successful people, that's what they do. Because to get to a goal, we need to constantly be moving forward. Does it make sense? So I used to say, cats and dogs are great. They would do what you need them to do, right? Please sit down, roll over, you walk the dog, okay, etc. A cat is different. How many of you have cats? Do they have their own mind? Yeah. So this industry is like herding cats. Everybody has their own mind, they go every other way. Right? It's cattle. You have the dogs and you can herd cattle, but this is like herding cats. Okay? But how many can you take with you? How many will go with you to the events? Right? Everybody have their excuse or reason not to go. Well, there's a saying. How we do something is how we do everything. How we do something is how we do everything. I tell my son all the time. I said, you gotta clean up your room, right? How many you have kids, you have to tell them to clean up the room, right? You know why? Because your inner world reflects your outer world. If you're messy on the outside, you're probably messy on the inside to some degree, Or it shows the attention he gives to the things that's around him. And maybe it's not a fault of his, but just habit. The subconscious habit of not doing it. Does that make sense to you? Yeah, a lot of psychology here, right? Yeah, I spent years going to a shrink. I'm just kidding. But if you have kids, then you kind of know. At the same time, though, you kind of have to teach yourself, but you can never see yourself. It has to be somebody else. So I tell my son, you got to clean up your room. And he starts, the things he loves, he keeps it very neat, right? But after he takes a shower, it's like underwear on the floor, pants is down. Hey, why don't you just pick it up in the basket? I say, it takes you the same amount of time and effort to put your dirty clothes in the basket as to put them on the floor. So why not just put them in the basket? Is it? So in this business, the same. It takes you the same amount of time to get to your goal if you do the right action versus you do it your own way. Because the events is been proven. We have people who have made money. Not one, many people And we have a culture of open to share with you, all of you, our genuine story of how we did it. Now, if you believe or not, we cannot force you. But we can only give you what we've done. It's not any one leader leading any group, because that group will be very small. But when you have leadership, tens and hundreds of people who are willing to share, you pick your example. You pick whoever inspires you. You listen to the words of people who you can understand, maybe on your level or in your community or your ethnic group, whatever it is. If you don't have it yet, you become that person. It makes sense? Because I cannot relate. Because I'm Chinese American. I'm more American than even Chinese. Right? But I cannot relate to, for example, Indian. I have a friend, Sammy. Some of you have seen Sammy before. He's been around. He's from Penang, lives in LA. He's in the business. You know, he speaks 7 or 8 different languages, you know. I said, how do you know Cantonese? He's Cantonese better than mine, right? He works as a translator, translate Chinese, okay? Oh yeah, my neighbor speaks Cantonese when he was growing up in Penang. I said, ah. But like, I cannot relate because I don't know the culture enough, aside from the food. Okay, I'm still learning. Okay, Sammy's a great cook. But like how he grew up, the religious, the cultural practice, I cannot relate. Same thing with Malay, right? I'm open to learning. I'm open to experience. That's why I come to Malaysia all the time. But you know, here it's up to you to be the leader for your business. But all you have to do is lead by example. We can teach you 100% of what we know. What you can apply, probably 80 to 90%, and the other 10 to 20% more within your own group locally. That's okay, right? So, but you gotta be open to receive. Just, you know, use your imagination, feel inspired. Don't worry about how you're gonna get there. So, this business, the last 5 minutes, I'm gonna give you some nuggets, and I'll try to get it through to you because some of you have heard it before, but you gotta apply it. In this business, it doesn't matter what you do that works. It matters what duplicates. Okay? So it's like, what it means is, you can go out, if you have money, have fancy dinners every night, right? And have your people bring new people and we'll just, show off and have a big thing. But can they do that? No. After none of us, our goal, why are we in this business? So we can build a business and down the road it can be more automatic, right? We have time freedom, right? Financial and time freedom, that's what we want ultimately. Well, if you're the one always doing that, the other people cannot do it, your business will never grow beyond you. And that's why a lot of people fail. In Malaysia, I've been coming here since 2011. I've seen many people, they talk so good. They know how to sell so much product. 6 months later, they're done. They're bye-bye, disappear. Okay? Because they run out of their own contact. And also because they talk so good, nobody can duplicate it. Their people never come to the event. They're super salespeople. But 6 months later, they're done. I've seen it over and over and over again. So, when you do the basic things right, think about whatever you do, can people duplicate it? That's why we have the WOW book. How many of you know what that is? Okay? So this book, in a digital PDF form, if you don't have it, ask the person who brought you, make sure you get a copy of it, okay? We send it out on the WhatsApp, okay? It walks you, literally, step by step, by step, by step, how to start your business and to look at the business from the right perspective, okay? And actually even kind of stimulates you when you make a list of the people that you know, give you some ideas how to do that, okay? That is the first step to starting your business. Now, how many of you have finished the whole book? Half the people did, right? Well, if you want to make a lot of money, can you just spend 10 to 15 minutes to go through the book? Exactly, so it's a habit, right? So we just need to invest that little bit of time. You know, when I was going to university, I was good at every subject, if I spent time doing it, right? My favorite subject was actually business law, but that takes time, a lot of reading and thinking and then writing down, right? But when I did it, when I spent time, oh, I did really good. When I didn't spend time, oh, forget about it. It's just that simple. Because we can be up here, do Q&A like nonstop, but if you never take the step to even take the 10, 15 minutes to do that, you won't learn anything from our Q&A either. Okay, now, so second thing, so that tool is for you to duplicate. It has the other PDFs where science meets wellness, opportunity showcase, simple ABC, brand ambassador tools. All those videos have links where you can even click the PDF on your phone and will boom, bounce over to YouTube to that video. It is that simple for you. You know, it's very innovative because it's not a website you have to click through. It's just a one document. There's about 6 to 12 videos on it, each document. So you just pick the one. You know, I would over time watch every single one so you know what's in it. Does that make sense? So you don't have to do it overnight. You can cram it in, but it just at least you know what's in it is important. That at least you're getting serious now. That's like the foundation you need to lay in your mind to start the business, to be on the way to make a lot of money. That's the truth, okay? So instead, you take action, event. So at the event, you'll meet your business partners, your sponsor, and your leader. And that's where, if you have a question, you can ask them. It could be either Zoom or face-to-face, right? So sometimes, you know, in this business, to get momentum, that means to get some speed, to get bigger volume, to make more money. Okay? More meaning more money, right? You need structured event. Okay? You need regular event. If you're not willing to plug into the regular event, like the Zoom, we have, for US it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday in Asia, right? So we have 4 Zooms a week regularly in English, and 3 Zooms in Mandarin every week. How many of you attend the Zoom? Yeah, right? Or the recording, right? If you don't, you're not in the business yet. You don't have to run the business. You don't have to even talk about it. Let the videos on YouTube, like the Zooms, talk for you. We have leaders, you know, like in America, there's a lot of blonde and blue-eyed ladies. They're great. They look beautiful. They all put together. They talk so good. Okay. We have serious people, serious business people, a lot older people like me, but with a lot more white hair, okay, who have years experience, and they can share with you just like how to promote events, how to invite people, how to talk to people. Let the tools do the work for you. Actually, we have a joke: the less you say, the better you do. Because you know why? Remember? It doesn't matter what works; it matters what duplicates. You see? So if you use the tools, you experience the tools, you start to have feelings that, oh, you know what? Yeah, it's so simple. Oh, this is all I have to do. You know what then? You get your whole team to do the same thing, if that's what they want. Okay? So on the wild ball, here's the thing. First, you have to do it. Take 10 to 15 minutes to go through it. And then sign at the back. Do it with your sponsor. Just do a call. Hey, can I ask just maybe 10, 15 minutes of your time so we can just sit down so I can know my goals. Right? You know what next thing is? When you have new people, you do the same thing with them. Does it make sense? Okay? Take the time. You know, I was in Singapore with Annalena and we met some of her people who just started. Okay? Yeah, right? Claire, your people too, right? So it's important we know what those ladies wanted. Right? So beforehand, Annalena was very smart. Oh, you know, after the pandemic, there's a big shift in lifestyle. All the maids, they don't, you know, they all quit. So all the housewives in Singapore, oh, they have to do so much now. You have the kids, the job, the husband, the household. Now they have to do everything, right? I think in Malaysia too, right? Yeah, it's like stress. Like sweating, right? There's so much to do, right? How do we have time for the business? Well, you could. If you have more money to pay more, they will come, you know. So they all want to get ahead, you know. How to squeeze it in? Well, I would, and you know, that's the thing. So when we talk about with a group of ladies, they all identify with that, right? See, men, we're conditioned to work. I mean, you know, in society, right? It's not male dominated, but the men are expected to go work to make money to provide. Well, nowadays, yes, it's very expensive everywhere. The women have to do that too, plus the family, plus the kids, and wow. You know, women very organized, most of them. Men, we just look at the bottom line. What do we need to do? Okay. But the business, that's how it is. You have to do it. You have to make it so easy to do, right? So if you want to share with somebody, oh, you know what? I'll end it with this because I think it will tell the whole story how you can basically start your business and then how it can lead to. Are you ready? Yeah. I haven't told this story in Asia yet. Okay. Well, I'll end it with this story so you get some idea how you can do the business and how I do the business. I have built my business over the years, you know, with very simple, just like you, one person at a time, all right? My last business, I had over 1 million people in my group, okay? But how to get from 1 to 1 million? This is how it's done. Because it duplicates down, right? It's like you go to McDonald's, it's the same almost everywhere in the world, right? That's duplication. So, but it starts with one store, right? One way to do. If you can do it with the best practices, and that duplicates down, and you learn, you do, you teach. You learn, you do, you teach. Okay? So recently, about 2 months ago, my new car was getting serviced. It got a flat tire. It got towed to the car dealer to get the tire repaired. Okay? So I called Uber. So Uber came, and there's a lady there saying, good afternoon, are you Samson? I said, wow, she's friendly. I said, yeah, I'm Samson. Nice to meet you. What's your name? Gabriella. But people call me Gabby. I said, oh, okay. Nice lady. Now, let me tell you, 19 years, I've never sponsored any taxi driver, never sponsored any Uber driver. Never. Because they never get back to you. After you talk a little bit, I send them information, no response, nothing. Okay? 19 years. So you know the odds, okay? But anyway, so I was talking with her, and I said, wow, you know, so are you having a good day? She said, oh, yeah. Great day. I work, earlier, and then I'm just finishing my day with the Uber. Then I go home to cook. I said, oh, okay. So I said, so what do you do? Oh, I work at the Veterans Affairs. So that is the organization, the government organization that takes care of all the military veterans. Oh, so what do you do there? I cook. Oh, you cook. Wow. So how many days you work? Oh, sometimes 5, sometimes 6. I say, wow. I said, thank you for serving the veterans. You know, I mean, you have to have a good heart to do that. Oh yeah, I love doing it. And I'm very responsive. And she started telling me, right? Well, because I said something, I honestly, from my heart, I really appreciate her for doing it. She felt good about it. When you make people feel good, they tell you more. You ever notice that? You give somebody a compliment, they start telling you more? Okay. So, but from my heart, I said, wow, I really respect you. And I mean, it's amazing that you can serve the veteran. I mean, I know it's a job, but you really do it with a lot of heart. Then she said, oh yeah, I make sure everything is done. Even the day before I get off, I make sure everything is prepared for the people tomorrow. So they make sure they do it right. And I said, wow, you're responsible too. That's amazing. You work so hard. And I noticed on the Uber, you have done more than 3,400 trips. Wow. You work very hard. I said, oh yeah. I said, do you have a family? I'm thinking she worked hard for the kids, right? So I said, you have family? And she said, oh yeah, I have 4 kids. I said, wow, is that why you work hard? Well, yeah, kind of, but not really. Most of them are older now. One son still lives with her. I said, okay, well, that's good. So you work very hard to bring up 4 kids. Oh yeah, me and my ex-husband. I said, oh, okay. See, every compliment, they like, if they're open, they're like telling you, right? So I said, wow, okay. Yeah, so I said, wow, so how often you drive? Whenever I can. I said, wow. I said, you ever thought of having your own business? Because you work so hard for other people, for the veterans, but I mean, aside from Uber, have you ever thought of making more money? He said, of course. I said, so then she said, oh yeah, many years ago, me and my ex-husband used to do Herbalife. I said, oh, okay, interesting. I said, okay, that's the right person. But my intention was not to picture anything, you know? In my heart, I just felt that, wow, she's such a nice person, so friendly, and do good things with the right intention, right? To serve other people. I said, wow, you'd be great, you know? You're like, I really appreciate her in my heart, right? I'm thinking, okay, maybe I should share with her. That's what I was thinking, right? Because to be honest, my time is very limited for people, okay? Because I can't just take on somebody who don't know anything to do the business. I cannot teach from ABC. I can use a video. I still need to work with them. But my time, I need to spend with a lot of people to make more impact. So I'm very picky, you know, and that's the way you should be. If you're going to build $1 million business, multi-million, who are you going to have next to you? Are you going to drag people along to make money with you? No. You want people to run with you, right? Because you don't have time to drag people, right? So Gabby, I talked to Gabby and start telling her, wow, you know what, you'd be amazing in my business, you know? So what kind of business you have? I said, well, you know, I tell her my story. You know, I've done real estate, I was in a furniture business, made money, lost everything. And she thought, oh, I lost everything before too. In 2008, 2009, the financial crisis, she lost her house, everything. I said, wow. I said, I've been there. So I shared with her, and then I shared with her the story how I met Kim, and watch her become very successful, and then in turn change my life when I took part of it. I said, look, sometimes in life it doesn't matter. You know, my dad always say, hey, in life you might run into maybe a good opportunity, maybe only 2 or 3 times, right? And more importantly, what I found out is who you meet. So I was very fortunate to meet my friend Kim. I had nothing. We worked together over time, and now my whole life has changed. So I shared with her about that, and she got very excited. Then I just briefly tell her, well, you know, we started a project. It's actually brand new, less than a year ago. And we're already in 15 countries. And she's like, wow, 15 countries and territory, that's a lot. Yeah, well, you know what? The world has changed. It's kind of like, you know, the flip phone versus iPhone 15, right? There's a big difference, right? So people need to upgrade their thinking. That's how business is done nowadays. See, sometimes little things like that, you know, like it open people's mind, right? To tell a story, to make something practical. Anyway, we talk, and then by the end, I almost get to the Porsche dealer. She's like, oh, so what's the next step? What do I do? What do I do? I said, wow, she's excited. Now, given 19 years, I've never signed up any taxi driver or Uber driver, right? So I said, how about this? Okay, give you a phone number, and then I will send you the information later tonight, right? Because I'm busy, right? I'm very busy, so I'll send you tonight. And then, but here's the thing. There's no way for me to tell you a multi-million-dollar business over the phone. I can't. So we have to meet up. So when's your day off? I asked her. So I took initiative to do a follow-up. You see that? Instead of asking her when she's free, or you know, I told her. What, you know, I asked directly, when is your day off? To the point, right? Oh, I'm off Sunday. How about this? Let's meet up on Sunday. How about 2 o'clock? She said, oh, okay, 2 o'clock is good. And I said, look, so I made the appointment at 2 o'clock Sunday, right? And then I said, after I send you tonight, I will give you a call in a couple of days. See how, what you think about the information. Is that good? If it's good with you, then we'll meet up Sunday. So it's not like I'm begging her for anything, right? I need to qualify her, right? I'm not chasing anybody. Never chase anybody. Because when you're making, you know, a lot of money, you don't want to be dragging people with you. They need to be running with you, right? So think about that when you go talk to people, okay? So anyway, guess what? So she loved it. She said, I called her a couple days later. Oh, the video is so good. Every night I think about Kim Hui. I said, good. Let the tools do the work, right? So, and then on Sunday we met up. She signed up, $600 package premium. She wanted to do the founder, but her son was having a wedding the next week, so a little short of money. So she can upgrade whenever. I said, hey, no big deal, let's get started. So then the first person she thought of, sign up her ex-husband. I said, you and him have a good relationship? Oh yeah, no problem, blah, 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 blah. Oh yeah, he wants to make money today. Great. And then we had another event coming up 2 weeks later, a new party, June 6th, New Year's party in LA. I said, Gabby, you must bring some people, you must come. He said, I'll try. I said, okay, how many people you want to bring? As many as you can, right? So talk to a lot of people. I'll give you an example, right? I talked to 50 people in another business, and I signed up 20, like within a week. I said, just go talk to people. They come around, okay, just invite. Thursday, before the event, she said, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Samson, I don't have anybody. I said, don't worry, you still have 2 days. Okay? So still Friday and Saturday, you can try to invite people. She showed up at the party with her neighbor, the husband and wife. So, yeah, you know, they do marketing, traditional marketing. So at the event, we're giving away prizes, right? We're probably giving away $20,000 to $30,000 worth of product or cash. Okay? Well, her neighbors want something, right? The whole table, we're giving away prizes by table. And then, the very last prize, Mr. Daniel Piku took $500 cash out of his wallet and said, oh, let's do that for grand prize cash. She won it out of 440 people. She said, oh, I've never won anything in my life. I said, well, it's meant to be. It's meant to be. Like she almost didn't come. Can you imagine? Her neighbor, so we had training afterward. Okay, this is crazy. If you never do, you never see it, okay? You will have your own story. So we had a training after the party. It was a luncheon, right? So 11 to 2, it's over, okay? Give away a lot of money, people happy. 3:30 at another hotel, we had the training, okay? So in English, it was about maybe 150 people, packed, okay? Her neighbor came with her because he came in one car. They couldn't get away, okay? Well, now they could do Uber, but they were still together, right? So they're sitting there. I don't know what happened. Kim was talking and said, you, for some reason, I feel that you will do, like, you're gonna have an expansive business. That was her, Kim said that to her neighbor. Oh. Later the guy's like, I don't know why she said that to me, but I feel like I belong. 2 weeks later, he joined. Okay? In the pro pack. Yeah. Okay? Now, and the funniest thing we talk about, a lot of time we talk about the matrix, about how we think of the world, this and that. And actually, he was watching a movie before he met up with me to go over the Wild Book. He said that movie was all about that. He said it must meant to be. It's the weirdest thing, right? Sometimes that's how it can be. Does that sound fun? Okay. So how I share with her, and somebody probably asking, what did you share with Gabby? So first, I told about my story, about Kim's story, right? I already know she wanted to make more money, because I asked her that, she said yes. So what I did was I sent her Kim's 2-minute video, but I already told her about Kim, so I edified the video, right? Because people don't know who Kim is unless you tell the story ahead of time. Oh, this is my good friend Kim, or you can tell whatever story you know about Kim, and this is our vision about what we're doing, this project. Okay? Second, I sent her videos from the company launch, from USA to Hong Kong to Anaheim. Why I did that? So she can see what kind of people are in the business. It makes sense? Right? So you see all kinds of people, diverse group of people. And they're all happy and positive, right? So I sent those to her. Next, I said, but again, I already qualify her. I know she's in the industry before. She just made very little money selling product, but I qualified her already. Then I sent her opportunity showcase recording with Amy Dunlap, right? Blonde blue eye, right? Dr. CV, blonde again with the brown eyes, I think. And me, right? Talk about company, product, and compound. Just brief. So I said, don't worry, if you have a question, I answer those when we meet up. Then, about the technology, I sent her the video with Dr. Dan, about 74-minute webinar. Because given that she's been in the industry already, so she understands because about supplements and all that. If they haven't, just summarize, send the absorption and the epigenetic with Dr. Dan, because those are only 10 minutes long, shorter clip, okay? That's what I did. And she was very positive to it, and then of course Kim, she keep thinking about Kim the whole time. I was like, wow. So in this business, it doesn't matter what work, it matters what duplicate. Use the tools, don't waste time thinking about it. It's more important you put the time in doing it. And then plug into events over and over and over again. From there, from that one person at a time, it can grow to hundreds and thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and maybe more. So hopefully, this 45 minutes, I give you something to think about. And I wish all of you very much success until the next time we meet. Okay? I'll see you in Hong Kong, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you.